This is my review of the Monkees. It was released in 1966, produced by Tommy Boyce, Bobby Hart, Jack Keller, and Michael Nesmith. So yeah, the Monkees are kind of the TV show that became a band. So it's Davy Jones, Peter Tork, Mickey Dolenz, and Michael Nesmith. For those of you who don't know, are the band. When they got around to playing their stuff live, they put Mike on the guitar, Peter on bass, and Mickey on drums. So I kind of, like, this is a band, I think I first kind of encountered them on the Only Solitary review website, just kind of like going through different bands, and I would just kind of check them out based off of their name if I found the name entertaining, and then I would be like, okay, that's a funny name, and then I would read on the band. So I read these guys' page at one point, and the guy that wrote that site, George, I can't remember how to say his last name, but he would kind of give like an outline of the band's history a lot of times in the introduction paragraph. And so I'm like, okay, so these guys were a TV show, they weren't a real band, and I kind of dismissed them a little bit outright then, but I went ahead and read like most of their pages because I was kind of bored and going through and reading stuff. But then I didn't really think about them for a long time, and so that would have probably, I don't know, been like late high school when I read those reviews. The next time I think I kind of came across them would have been in college in the Music and Art Since 1945 class, which I talk a lot about in different reviews. And I remember my professor brought them up. I don't remember specifically if he played a lot of their stuff. I'm assuming he probably played like one or two songs. I remember this one day he went on a long rant about the movie Head, and he was just like, yeah, it's the weirdest movie ever. If you guys are ever bored, you should just go watch Head. So I kind of like, when I had that class and heard him talk about him, that was a guy who I respected his taste in music because he played a lot of things in the class that I enjoyed and kind of introduced me to a lot of stuff that I liked. So I was like, okay, if he doesn't dismiss these guys so much, maybe I shouldn't dismiss them. So I kind of like thought, well, you know, maybe I'll check them out at some point. And then the next time I kind of came across them was in another college class. It was a Vietnam history class, and I was writing a paper on protest music. And so I kind of, Last Train to Clarksville came up as a song that is kind of a reference to that, but doesn't really explicitly mention it. So I listened to that song and wrote about it a little bit for that paper, and I came to really enjoy that song. So I was like, okay, I'm definitely going to check these guys out at some point. And then I think the next time I came across them was in another class. I was doing a paper on like some kind of just on like country rock stuff for another history class. And so Michael Nesmith came up a lot, like in the books when I was researching that. And so once again I was kind of like, okay, yeah, I definitely need to check these guys out. Well, then it wasn't until like, I don't know, probably like 3 or 4 years later where I finally was like, okay, I'm going to listen to an album by these guys. So I put on Headquarters, and I really enjoyed it the first time through, and then I kind of was like, okay, I'm just going to listen to all their stuff. So I got a box set that was the first album through Changes, and that's kind of like when I got really familiar with their stuff, and then I went on and got the other albums that weren't included in that. So yeah, I basically went from being somebody that dismissed them for not being a real band and was like, yeah, I'll never listen to them, to being a really big fan, so much so that I've even been kind of one of those defensive Monkees douches who's like, no, you're not giving them enough credit. They're a lot more talented, you know. So yeah, I really enjoy these guys' music, and I think they have a really good story of kind of how they were a TV show and then kind of became their own thing, and you know, taking control of their music and stuff. I'm not really going to go into too much of that stuff because like it's out there, you can find it, and I'm not like the biggest expert on it. But I do think it's really interesting and kind of contributes to my enjoyment of the stuff. But I mean, I really think overall that they have a lot of really great music. This first album, The Monkees, is not my favorite. It's nowhere near my favorite, really. This is when they didn't have any control of their music. I think Don Kirshner was deciding everything that went on the albums. They really only sing on this album. Peter Tork plays like what he called third string guitar on I think like 2 songs. I think they're the Mike Nesmith ones. And so yeah, it's really, at this point, it's really just kind of them singing other people's songs. That said, I think there are a lot of good songs on here. I just really loved the songwriting from this time period, and just the kind of music in general in the 60s I think was really good, a lot better than the music that's popular now. So for what it is, I do enjoy it, but at the same time, it's not one of my favorites. I'd probably take like 5 or 6 songs off here and put them on a playlist if I was like doing that. I'd probably do the same thing with the next album. So the album starts with Theme from the Monkees. Kind of weird to start the album with this. I guess it's not like even the version from the TV show is what I've heard. I'm not like super familiar with the TV show. I've probably only seen like 5 or 6 episodes. But yeah, I like the song. I just think it's kind of strange that like they chose this to be the album opener. But I guess it's also kind of fitting in the same way. Yeah, it's a pretty catchy song. It's a little repetitive, but I enjoy it for the opener. It's probably I wouldn't say that I would put it on a playlist, but I think it's one of the ones I enjoy on here a little bit more. The second track, Saturday's Child. This is sung by Mickey. The first song's also sung by Mickey. I forgot to mention that, but yeah, Saturday's Child. This is one of my favorite songs on here. It's just really catchy. I think Mickey gives a good performance. It's got some cool guitars in it, so this would make a playlist. Third track, I Want to Be Free. This one's sung by Davey. This one's kind of weird because I don't really like this version of the song, but there's a live version of it on the, I think it's Monkees Live 1968 album, and I really like that version. It's got kind of like more energy to it. This one, just kind of like slowed down, a little sappy. I do really like the melody of this song, which I think why I like the live version a lot, but this studio version I'm not really that big of a fan of. The fourth track, Tomorrow's Gonna Be Another Day. This one's sung by Mickey. It's a solid track, not one of my favorites really. I don't think I'd put it on a playlist, but there's nothing really wrong with it. Like, I enjoy it when I'm listening to the album. The fifth track, Papa Jean's Blues. This is a Mike song, sung by Mike. One of my favorites on here, definitely make a playlist. It's just really catchy, got some cool guitar. Pretty short, both of his songs on here are really short. The sixth track, Take a Giant Step, sung by Mickey. This is a really good song. I like it a lot. It's got cool drumming on it. The production's trippy. I'd definitely put this one on a playlist. The seventh track, Last Train to Clarksville. This is probably my favorite song on the album since it was the first one I kind of came across. I like the guitar in it. It's a little birdsy. I like Mickey's vocal a lot. I think this is a really catchy song. Definitely make a playlist. That one I really like. The eighth track, This Just Doesn't Seem to Be My Day, sung by Davey. This one I like. I think it's pretty catchy. It's got some weird parts in it. I think the instrumental stuff's pretty cool. And the ninth track, Let's Dance On, is sung by Mickey. Good performance from the session guys in it. I think it's pretty energetic, like musically, but song-wise, it's not really a huge highlight for me. I mean, I do enjoy it when it's on, but I don't think I'd put it on a playlist. The 10th track, I'll Be True to You. This one is one of the Davey songs where they kind of put him in these like sappy romantic songs, and a lot of them have these little like spoken word bits that I always like kind of hate, but there's sometimes when I like the song around that. This is kind of one of those cases. Like I like a lot of the musical stuff. I think the guitar sounds really cool. I think Davey's vocal's pretty good. I just think that's when they have him do those stupid like spoken word things, I kind of hate that. The 11th track, Sweet Young Thing, is another Mike sung song that was written by him and some other people. This one, another really short song, but it's catchy. It's got kind of the country thing creeping in a little bit, so I like this one a lot. I think it would also make a playlist. Then the 12th and final track, Gonna Buy Me a Dog. This is probably the worst song on here, really. It's just kind of goofy. I mean, like, I enjoy it because I kind of like just cheesy jokes and jokes that aren't funny, just to amuse me. So I like the kind of back and forth that Mickey and Davey are doing in it and find it entertaining. A lot of people probably won't. So I would say that the album kind of ends on a bad note, even though I like it. I don't think a lot of people. So yeah, the Monkees, solid debut, especially given that it's just like other people completely controlling it and they don't have any say in it. But at the same time, like, not anywhere near one of their albums. I wouldn't even like recommend starting with their first two albums. If I were trying to get into them, I would probably start with Headquarters and then work my way up to Changes and then go back to these two. Because I think that of the original run of albums, the first two where they didn't have control are, in my opinion, the weakest. But yeah, solid album. Got some good songs on it. I would make probably a really solid like 6-song playlist off of this. But yeah, just not one of my favorites, but not a bad album.